In the 41st millennium, where hope is only a fading ember and duty is the only light that still burns, a single warrior stands as a final word of judgment. Not a myth, not a legend, a presence, a force, a commander forged by war and bound by truth. This is Supreme Grandmaster Azrael of the Dark Angels. Joytoy's interpretation doesn't recreate him, it reveres him. Every plate, every seal of purity, they didn't make an action figure, they carved a monument. Today we're taking a look at a figure that carries literal decades of Warhammer history on its shoulders. Joytoy's Supreme Grandmaster Azrael, the highest ranking warrior of the Dark Angels, and one of the most iconic Space Marines Games Workshop has ever created. This is a figure that needed to land, not just because it's Azrael and he's a beloved character, but because he represents the entire legacy and all the secret shame of the Dark Angels chapter. Joytoy could have phoned this one in. They could have done the bare minimum and people would have still went crazy for this. But they didn't do that. They went all in. So today we're breaking down the sculpt, the paint, the articulation, the accessories, and answering the big question, did Joytoy do justice to one of the Imperium's greatest heroes? In the box, Azrael comes with everything you'd expect, and a few you honestly wouldn't. You get Azrael himself in full ceremonial war gear, you get the Sword of Secrets, you get the Lion's Wrath combo weapon, the beautifully sculpted Lion's winged helmet, his backpack, a scabbard for the sword, an unhelmeted head, a whole tray of hands for every pose you'd expect a Grandmaster to make. Everything in here feels intentional. Nothing is reused. Nothing looks like a cost-cutting compromise. This is a full loadout, and it's the kind of presence a chapter master is supposed to have. When you lay everything out, it looks like Joytoy wanted this release to be a centerpiece, not just another Marine on the shelf. The sculpt work on Azrael is absolutely top tier. This is Joytoy operating at its highest level they've ever hit in the Space Marine line. The robes are layered and heavy. They don't just look like fabric, they look like Space Marine fabric. Thick, ceremonial, battle-worn cloth with deep folds and sharp edges. Underneath those robes, fully sculpted power armor. They didn't skip a single element here. You get purity seals, studded padding, the Dark Angel's chest plate, the belt ornaments. Everything that makes Azrael Azrael is here, and it's crisp. The head sculpt is incredible. Strong brow, stern expression, that I know more than you ever will look. And the helmet, easily one of the best helmets I've ever seen in this line. The wings aren't floppy or oversized. They're perfectly angled, perfectly symmetrical, and deeply detailed. It looks like it walked right out of the Codex. The paintwork on this figure honestly shocked me. Joytoy can be hit or miss with the shading, but Azrael looks premium. The robe grading is smooth, layered, and believable. The gold trim is metallic without being glittery or cheap. Every purity seal has a sharp script, and every armor edge has the right amount of shadow. The face is clean, there's no wandering eyes, no muddy flesh tones. This is the best human portrait they've done since the Primus Captain. And the armor finish is that perfect matte plastic that makes the figure look grounded. No toy shine, no distracting reflections, just pure grimdark excellence. Articulation on a robed Space Marine is always a gamble, but Azrael handles it better than almost any Joytoy figure in this class. You get full shoulder rotation thanks to the flexible sections of the robe. The elbows get deep bends, the torso crunch is shockingly generous for a character wearing this much armor. The hip movement isn't restricted as much as you would think, but it does limit it a little bit, but the ankles and knees move just fine. This is the kind of articulation that makes posing fun, not frustrating. The accessories is where Joytoy absolutely flexed here. Every piece feels like a miniature diorama element. The Sword of Secrets has a beautifully sculpted guard, pommel, the handle, the wrapping, it's all next level. The Lion's Wrath combo weapon is a perfect 3D realization of the tabletop sculpt, down to the vent patterns and the casting texture. The winged helmet is a work of art on its own. Perfectly balanced wings, no warping, and a paint job that sells the depth. The hands are actually useful for once. You get expressive command gestures, believable weapon grabs, and no claw hands that can't do anything. Every accessory feels like it belongs in a collector's display, not an action figure tray. The build quality here is phenomenal. The joints arrive firm but not stuck. The materials feel durable and nothing flops around out of the box. The robe material is flexible without feeling rubbery. The wrists don't pop loose every time you rotate them, and the backpack fits in snugly with zero wobble. It feels like Joytoy knew this figure was important and built it to last. Supreme Grandmaster Azrael just isn't another Space Marine. He's a statement release. If you're a Dark Angels collector, this is a mandatory here. If you're an Imperium figures, this is one of the best characters Joytoy has ever made. And if you just want a Marine to represent Warhammer in your collection, Azrael has the presence, the gear, the sculpt, and the quality to carry that heavy burden for you. This figure feels premium. It feels important. It feels like Joytoy knows exactly how iconic Azrael is, and they absolutely delivered. This is a 9 out of 10 for me, and it's absolutely one of my favorites in the line so far. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit the like button, drop a comment, and tell us which Joytoy figure you want next. Halibreck was insane, Azrael was my pleasure, Joytoy is on an absolute roll, and if this is their new standard, I can't wait to get more. Thanks for watching, see you next time.
You break my heart.